welcome back to my channel. I know it has been a while. Work had gotten crazy, so I had to step away for a little bit. I'm praying that work stays stable so that I'm able to continue to upload videos and then we can continue on this journey. But I do apologize from the bottom of my heart. So please accept my apology. I surely will appreciate it. Again, for those of you all that are new here, my name is Latrina. I am a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a caregiver to a young man with special abilities. Today, I want to talk to you about one of the most difficult chapters that I wrote in my book titled Thriving Through the Unexpected, Finding Hope in Dark Places. In this chapter, I talk about things that tested everything in me. My sense of safety, my faith, and my ability to keep going even when I didn't feel protected. For those of you all who may be new here or haven't had the chance to read the book, this is chapter 5, and it is titled Surviving the Park Row Hotel. Looking back, I realized that some of the hardest moments that I faced during that time were actually shaping something much deeper inside of me. It would bring on lessons that would teach me things and prepare me for battles that I didn't even know were coming. The Park Row Hotel was a season that began a lot of chaos in my life, a lot of noise, and a lot of danger, if I can be honest. But also it's a place where God quietly began to shape things inside of me that he knew that I would need later on in life. Looking back, hindsight, I can see that now. The Park Row Hotel wasn't just your typical hotel. It sat on the corner of Keeler and Roosevelt Road in Chicago. I'll never forget the address to that hotel was 4144 West Roosevelt Road, Chicago, Illinois, I believe 60623. It sat next door to a laundromat and also across the street from a grocery store called Super Z. For those of you who are familiar with that area, it's the K-Town area in Chicago. It was a 4-story brick building that housed many rooms. That hotel had its own rhythm. From day in and day out, you would probably witness so many things that would leave your head spinning. On a day-to-day basis, I would see many prostitutes, I would see many pimps, I would see drug dealers, I would see gangbangers, you name it, I was able to see it. I remember when you would go into the hotel, when you enter the building, to your right, there was a lounge where you can go downstairs to enter into the lounge. The music will be blaring outside of that lounge. You can hear it probably to like 2 to 3 stories upstairs. If you're coming down the stairs, you can hear the music. It was just that loud. You would see people dancing. You would see people drinking, having a good time, just loud, enjoying life. But also you would see where prostitutes would get beaten by their pimps because of maybe they didn't make enough money that day. You would see drug dealers where exchanges are happening. And for me to be that young age, I saw way too much at that age that a child should not have ever seen. My mom lived in room 219. And for what I recall, the room was pretty small. You would enter into the room and it was a bed, maybe a full-size bed at the time. It was a dresser, it was a refrigerator, and then it was a TV that sat on like a steel pole that was mounted to the floor to make sure nobody would steal the TV out of the room. Most days I was there alone until my sister was born. And I would just be in the room looking out the window. Our window faced like an alley because there was really not much to do in that room outside of watching TV. Once I got tired of watching TV, I wanted to, do something else. But I would look out that window, and it got to the point where I just stopped looking out the window because I was seeing like people having sex, people doing drugs, people who were like foaming at the mouth, who were nodding on like gates. And at that time, I didn't know that that meant that somebody was high or, intoxicated with drugs or whatever. And I was just like, oh my God, like what is wrong with these people? And eventually, after seeing so much, I just was like, I don't want to see anything else. Like it was too much for me. I knew it was something that I should not be privy to. So I stopped looking out the window and basically tried to entertain myself as much as I could. I recall a period of time where um, my mom would party a lot. She would come in most of the time at dawn, stumbling in, and she would walk past me to get to the bathroom because I would be sleeping on the floor because I had to sleep on the floor. I would always make a pallet there and try to make sure that I covered as much of the floor as I possibly could so that my body would not touch the floor because there were so many stains on the floor. It reeked of like alcohol smells, and it was a nasty sight to see. So I remember I would curl up and I would ball up on this pallet to make sure none of my body would touch it because it was just disgusting to me. But oftentimes she would walk past me to get to the bathroom. Sometimes I would be awake, waiting for her to come home because I would often be worried about her, wondering if she was okay. And other times I would be sleeping. She would, wake me up because I was a light sleeper when she came in. And it would let me know that she made it home safely, which was great. I was grateful for it because I was glad to have my mom back home, safe and sound. But I remember, particularly with us living on the second floor, this guy, an unknown man, would begin climbing in our room from outside of that window that faced the alley. And he would get near me, and my mom would wake up and she would just scream, hey, 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 get out of here. And the man would like go back out the window and then run off wherever he was going to run off to. And it happened on more than one occasion. It happened on several, like many times. I would say at least up to like 30 to 50 times from what I remember. And I was so frightened to be in that room because I didn't want to let the window up because I was unsure what this man's intentions were. Were he coming in to try to rape me, try to rape my mom, kill us? I had no idea what this guy was. Why was he climbing in the window? Apparently, my mama didn't know him. I didn't know him. So it was like, why are you climbing in this window? And I felt so unsafe. And I remember at that time of saying to myself that once I ever got grown, that I would never want my kids to be in that type of situation where they're fearful of sleeping somewhere because of an outside person coming in to possibly harm them. And so I made a vow to myself that I would never allow my kids to feel unsafe. But even with that guy climbing in that room, I mean, in that window as many times as he did, my mom still wanted the window open no matter what. I don't care how hot it was in that room. She wanted that window open. She even wanted the window open when she wasn't there. And I just refused. And I remember putting like a fan up against the window, and I would put I would soak a towel in the sink to get the towel wet to be hopeful that the towel would help blow a cool breeze into the room because I was just so scared to like let the window up because I don't know, this guy probably was gonna kill us. But yeah, that's a moment that is etched in my brain that I will never ever forget. And yeah, that was really scary at that time. And so I don't know, it was really really weird, and I don't know, it's crazy. But in that moment, it taught me to, be careful. Always, look at my surroundings. It taught me how to function in dysfunction. And I I felt like how can I continue to protect my mom even though I wasn't feeling protected? It was the main thing about like keeping her safe too. And so the little girl who once laid frightened on that carpet finally like stood up. I learned my worth and was like, this is not the way things are supposed to be. And it created a sense of strength inside of me, if you will, that I would never want to be in that situation like that again. I would never want any of my loved ones to be in that type of situation because I remember how I felt during those times. But I stood up and I just refused to carry shame that was never meant for me to bear, because I was very shameful during that time. Number one, because we were living in a hotel, or my mom was living in a hotel. Number two, we were living in like a one bedroom room. And I didn't understand, at the moment why. Maybe it was a money situation for her. I'm not sure, because we never got a chance to really talk about it, because, during those times it was like kids were to be seen and not be heard. And if you ask questions, pretty much you just got popped in the mouth or whatever, because they felt like you were being grown or disrespectful. For I never got a chance to ask her, why did we end up in that situation? But, this was one of the most scariest times of my life, and it shaped a whole lot inside of me during that time. So I'm grateful, not for the experience itself, but the strength that grew inside of me and, shaped the woman that I am today. I'm very grateful for that. But just wanting you to know that, just remember your past. It doesn't, how can I put it? Your past may have shaped you, but it doesn't define you. Don't allow your past to define you. It's just a moment in your life, or a crossroads in your life, for things for you to pick up lessons and learn different things during that season, and for you to take those things with you throughout the rest of your life and become the great person that God has created you to be. So on that note, I'm not going to keep you all much longer, because I know this is quite of a longer video, but I just wanted you all to know that, sometimes you look at people and you don't know what, they've been through, because you see like this strong person now, or this person that exudes strength, but you just never know what the past looks like. So I always say, give everybody grace, because you never know what somebody has gone through. Speak to people with kindness, with love, with empathy, sympathy, whatever that may mean for you. And yeah, let's make this world a better place, because not all of us have lived in great, or had great childhoods. I'm one of them that didn't. I got moments where it's like, wow, I'm surprised that I'm still alive, like honestly. But anywho, like I said, I'm not gonna hold you all long. Just make sure you share the video, subscribe. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below if you can. I really appreciate it. And I'm just happy to be back with doing my videos. I missed you all, and I hope that you all were missing me too. But thank you for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate that. I don't take your time for granted, because you could be doing anything in the world that you really wanted to do, but you took the time to sit here and watch my video. So I'm very appreciative for that, okay? All right. In the meantime, I want you to keep shining, keep thriving, keep doing all the things, keep rising. And until next time, Sunflower Circle, you all take care. Bye.